Okay, hello everyone and welcome to Ero Pc F2. Apologies for the delayed start. I was doing something, that is my bad, but we've joined to a qualifying which is probably going to be one lap and done here it seems, as everyone's setting quicker laps than each other. Currently Rocky on pole. Who else we got? Dordovic is invalidated, that's not ideal, you want to get your lap in. For today, we do also have Wagenart, who has moved over from PlayStation to PC and goes second place actually. So that's a good lap as we see Jimmy and Shook on the opposite side of the Wall of Champions. As Fagadi goes to P7 and Matusiak's dodging what looks like a Warzone of front wings there in the first sector. Let me go check the audio real quick, as it says it's not picking up anything. The answer is that's a complete lie and it is picking something up. Please let me know if you can hear me on the stream. Dordovic has invalidated again, Matusiak has not, and DRS has been disabled. So for these guys, they're going to be at the back regardless, I think, here, unfortunately. As this qualifying has, well, it's ended before it's really started, I can't lie. And with a delayed start, that's really made that happen. As you see Matusiak just trying to get to the line here. If he can, then, well, I think he can go at least a P12, which he has done. So, not bad. As everyone on soft, so no one using mediums on the new tyre allocation, just for an 8 lap. I mean, that's sort of just whatever. I mean, it's something you can do, but I don't know. Just seems no point. Is I assume we're going to see most people retire unless we have an Inters race. Then they might want to get practice for that. It'd be nice to know what the weather's going to be like and if this whole qualifying is going to essentially just be rain there. As Dordovic is still trying to get a lap in here. And Dino's also going to try and get a lap in the Williams as the Red Bull dives out the way into the hairpin there. And the two AlphaTauris are out on trackers at the moment as Robbie goes to the pit lane. The track is fully soaked at this point. As Cody's also on an out lap. I think it's too late for Cody to get a time. He might as well go into at this point. As to the line, Dordovic, P13 behind Matusiak. Dino's really struggling into the hairpin there, having to crawl through, and at this point I just box for Inters. Like, I don't know how much slower Inters are a lap. I think probably 4 or 5. You can probably still get like a 116 maybe on Inters. I don't know how realistic I'm being here, because I haven't drove Inters at Canada. I don't think that's something many people just go out the way to do, as Dino does a 17-1 and Cody. But it seems like he's had a spin, but I'm not too sure. His car's still intact, so there's a positive to take there, as everyone is selecting Inters now, and a few are coming out to the track. So yeah, we're just going to have some intermediate running for this session. We'll go on board with McGinty, and when he gets right into a lap, I'll do sort of a rundown of the track like I normally would, but while he does that, I'm slightly rushed today, so just give me a moment. Okay, so I moved to someone a bit further back through a lap to give myself more time. So, on board with Joe Fagali with the updated sports liveries for the Red Bull being on that. Saw a slight change in the shade of blue on the car. Fagali comes to turn one, braking about just as that grey curbs, the grey part of the curbing starts on the outside, and tricking it into here, a corner that's absolutely terrible without line, I'll tell you. I always get it wrong. And then here, you brake it just after 100 in the dry, seems the same on inters, and a bit of a moment. The curbs there are awkward, as now into the final corners of Sector 2, a chicane with some evil sausage curbs. They don't look it, but easy to lose the car there. Then into the hairpin. Good overtaking opportunity if you want to dive bomb someone, but other than that, not always your best option as Fagali goes into the wall. And seemingly struggling a bit with the control of the car on these intermediate conditions. Now into the final chicane there, the chicane where people are going to get about 37 minutes of penalties, considering that's normally what happens at Canada. The track limits are, I don't even blame them for getting that many. The track limits are terrible here, and I guess I did just have to stop myself from seeing something different. Anyways, also if you hear any fireworks in the background, sorry, but it's bonfire night, so people decide to launch gunpowder filled small versions of you know what, forget it. No, I'm not going to make any interesting comments about fireworks. It's not worth it. It's really not worth it. I can't think of anything today. My brain is gone. So I don't know why I'm just staying on rubbish in the end truck. It seems like everyone's invalidating on inters. Here we go. The Mercedes, another car that's changed, especially with the right. I'd say arguably it's changed maybe for the worse with the Halo being the major point that has changed with these liveries. It's just something I notice quite a lot as the Rocky, the man on pole, has binned it, but I don't think it particularly matters as there's his teammate almost binning it. Looking at the Alpine, they've just slapped a bunch of Alpine logos right in front of your eyes, you know, just for the sake of advertising, but it's not a bad car. It's alright. Cody, 89 invalid. Well, that would put him P15, so he's got something to fight for here. Dino's invalidated, Matusiak's invalidated, Keeler's invalidated. I don't even want to try and pronounce this name. Bialowas? I don't know. This is going to be bad, my pronunciation of this. Please, watch, anyone save me. Someone save me, please. Pronounce it like phonetically in the chat so I don't butcher it into oblivion. There's Milan Dirks and rejoins the session. I don't even see him disconnect. Matiziak's invalidated again. What about Dordovic then? What can Dordovic do on inters? Compared to his first sector, he's 1.1 down. Maybe the inters aren't that good then. Interested to see what time the AlphaTauri can do. But the fight left for qualifying is the fight for P15 realistically. Cody, can he get a lap time valid ahead of Jimmy Enchuk Or will Dordovic, not Dordovic, will Ziemianchuk go out, set a better lap, and keep P15? So, you know, at least we got some form of action. What about Cody? Well, we'll stay to see what time Dordovic does. Never mind. Let's see what Cody's up to then. What is happening for him, as he's got Ziemianchuk right behind him as well. As yeah, can the Aston Martin beat that time of a 21.0 here? So the rain is still very light, so you know, just a nice bit of interconditions. Now down to the final chicane for Cody. And keeping it valid, yes he is. Very nice through there as well. Just keep it under control and then up to the line. 20.2, and that's going to get him the P15 that he's looking for. Unfortunately, I don't think a 17.1 is doable on Inters. Unless we want to summon like Drake or something to come race, but I don't think he even knows barely anyone in the Ero Pc F2. Let alone would want to race here. So, Cody has had his go. What about Ziemianchuk then? Can the Alfa Romeo take that P15 back? He looks very nice through there. How much is he improving by? He's not improving, he's almost 5 seconds down. Ah. That can't be right, surely. Did he make a mistake? I don't know. Or maybe the final sector, he crashed on his first run, maybe. Because his time looks fine coming into the final chicane. Keep it valid. He's done it. Up to the line. It's going to be a 119. 119.0. 1.2 up on Cody. And that puts Ziemianchuk back into 15th place. Cody's going again, it seems, but he's got a Red Bull in the way. Yeah, that's not ideal. Who was that? It was Matiziak. Ziemianchuk's not on a lap. Moves out the way nicely for Cody, though. Luckily for Cody, he's got no more obstructions before the end of the lap. What's not lucky for him is that he doesn't have much battery, so he just sort of needs to rely on his driving ability if he wants to improve his time. He's 1.8 up actually, so this is definitely enough to take P15 back, but battery's going to cost him a lot all the way through Sector 3 here, and I think he's run out of fuel as well. So he's going back to the pit lane, and he hasn't got any more time to improve, so that's your grid decided then. Duroki and Wagener on the front row, right where Wagener with a good start here. As Keeler and DeConte for the second row, Imchez and McGinty on the third, Vigali and Bialoaz, please someone help. Fourth row, Dirksen and Kinnable. Fifth row, Bodie and Matuziak on the sixth. Dordovic and Dino. Dino's going to have to do a lot of fighting back through the grid then today. Gives Imchaz a chance, as Imchaz is 9 positions up ahead of his rival. Then Ziemianchuk and Cody Reid. Do I want a co-commentator? Yes. Give me a sec, I'll go join a VC. Join comms VC. I am in there. I can also invite you to the session. I can't invite you to the session. I can invite you to the session. Whoa. Or you can join off my name, I don't know. Hello.
Hello.
Here
I
we
need
go.
to mute the YouTube streams and then we're good.
Yeah, I need to turn your volume up.
Oh.
Well, welcome to the shortest qualifying session you've ever seen, and the fight for
Yeah.
P15 was brilliant. There we go. We should be back. So, I've already gone through the grid, so that's sorted. Brilliant, making loads of progress here. Is... I'm just looking at something as Wage comes to line on an Inters run. 17.4. That's close to what Dino did, to be fair, on the softs on a wet track. And actually, to be fair, the track's dry again. So the track did dry up right at the last second, but that's not useful, unfortunately. Maybe for someone like Dino, maybe could have shaved a few tenths off, but that's about it, really. So, there's the grid exactly the same as it was about 2 seconds ago. And, well, the top 14 got a lap in on softs, the bottom 2, unfortunately, did not. So, yeah, that's how we are going to be starting this race.
I'm just waiting for the qualifying results to finish, then I can join the lobby and see what's going on. I mean, you can just press
spectate.
Now I can.
What? Can you... Okay, yeah.
It wasn't letting me join, but now it is. Oh, it's raining.
Oh, well, here we go. So it is raining. So that's why people wouldn't have retired then. They wanted a better practice on the Inters, which we can see in the garage. So we will be on the intermediate tyres to start this race.
The question is whether it will dry up.
I hope we get some change in conditions.
If it stays wet, it'll be interesting to see how the 0 stop versus 1 stop versus 2 stop dynamic works.
Yeah, I really want... I tell you something, Canada would be a perfect track to do a 2 stop with the new tyre allocation.
Apart from the fact it's 4 seconds slower.
4, 5 red lights, and away we go here. As it seems like a pretty even start for the front 2. But someone who has got a good start is Keeler, who's going to dive it down the inside and into P1, but pushes the Rocky slightly off track there. Wagenar's trying to go round the outside, but can't quite make his way around as Keeler is still side by side with Derocky. And Derocky gets back into the lead of this race as Keeler looks to have had a bit of a moment. Wagenar sliding through there and DeCont on the grass as they're 3 wide coming round towards Sector 2 here. Everyone diving all over the place and just trying to find anywhere on the track to put it as DeCont has been swallowed into the pack there and down to 7th place. Potentially 8th. Shimienchuk from the back of the grids up to 8th as well. So that's Robbie taking a look there to get up into 8th place. DeCont continues to lose places in the midfield, and same with Keeler, who's been ghosted for pretty much the whole lap at this point. As here comes Fagardi looking to make a dive on Imchiaz. Behind has been massive contact as 2 cars rain going into the hairpin, as they're also 3 wide there with McGinty, Matusiak and Shimienchuk. And Shimienchuk's up to 6th place already. And that's a great start from the Alfa Romeo. As Dordovic close to the back of Dino there. These two have just been slowly making their way through together. As they're going to be side by side now into the final chicane. And Dino's just going to keep the position there. And just keeping out the Wall of Champions as well. Wow.
That was a crazy opening lap.
And Keeler's a ghost because he's disconnected. I did not see him disconnect. So I saw him get tagged and start ghosting. And then he must have disconnected partway through that. As... well, We continue on with the craziness as McGinty breaks a bit on the grass there. That compromises his run that he did have on Jimmy Enchuk, who you can't deny has had a brilliant start here in the Alfa Romeo. All the way up to 6th. Where was he on the grid? 15th or 16th?
I don't know, but it's been a good start from the leaders, who have now got a 2-second gap to any of the cars behind.
Yeah.
Which means that they get to avoid all the carnage unless they inflict it themselves, which I hope they don't do, but you never know.
As there's a predicted strategy from the game. A 2-stop or a 1-stop, it's saying. Personally,
I think it might be worth, if it stays inters, it might be worth jacking up fresh and going for a 0-stop.
Yeah.
Because of the track position, and the wear isn't that high around Canada. Although it's a little bit like Baku in the fact that the rears wear a lot faster than the front, so it really depends on your setup.
Having a look to the inside of Jimmy Enchuk. Jimmy Enchuk runs wide, and McGinty takes back 6th place here. And now has a 2-second gap to catch up to Fagali, Imtiaz, and Bialowas. I don't know how to pronounce that name. You have to do in F3. What do you normally go for?
I don't know. I just say the team.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I probably should just do that. It'd be much easier. As Cody, at his home race, up to P12 at the moment. Currently following through Bodian, who seems to be struggling quite badly in the McLaren. Someone who isn't struggling is the front two, and especially Wagenart, who's closed half a second up to Duroki. And these two looking to have very good pace here from the get-go. Well, I think they'll be hoping it stays raining, because I think Wagenar's looking to finish his first ERO race of this season. He's come to PC to hopefully do that. I think the last would love to see him do that.
I'm not sure if I've missed something, but I think the last time he raced would have been like 10-11 months ago in an F2 mini season.
That was on PC. He's a PlayStation driver, so... Yeah.
And then he moved back.
Yeah. He sort of just did the F2 mini season on PC, then... Well, no, he's fully made the switch to PC, and, well, welcoming him over. He's got 2 races to see what tier he wants to be placing realistically. As at the moment, he's having a good fight with Duroki here, and that shows that he's definitely going to fit right in with the pace at the top of F2. And, well, we'll get to see tomorrow, hopefully, if he'd rather be in F1 or F2 based on his pace, so it'll be interesting to see. He could definitely be a contender for many race wins in F2, I think. And well, he's been a good start. Hopefully the race continues like that for him. Hello.
The person who's gained the most positions is Siemienchuk, who started 15th and is now up to 7th.
Yeah.
Dino and
Dordovic
also gained 5 positions apiece, so they started in front bar behind, but are definitely going to be happy with their starts. Now, an interesting question is going to be who's got a wet setup and who's gone for a dry setup.
I think the front two are on a wet setup. They are streaking away.
Well, also it depends on the balance between the straight line speed and the cornering speed, because they might be just really quick and running a dry setup. So
True.
We can't really be that sure, although I do suspect that their setups are working well for them in these conditions.
Yeah, they're definitely more suited than others, as well, it's not just the driver in P3 who's struggling. Everyone behind can't really make any inroads. So, a Ferrari driver from F3 having a good start for his first race in F2.
Done a lot of race. The other Ferrari from F3. I thought you were talking about Keeler, but
Nah.
You weren't.
The one in 3rd place, the one that I don't want to pronounce the name of until someone tells me how to do it, because I keep butchering it, definitely. Like, I mostly butcher most people's names, but I've never done something that bad. So,
Yeah.
there's Wagenar right on the back of the Rocky here. As Wagenar has just slowly been just bringing that gap slightly closer and keeping right up to the back of the Alpine, who slides there. And, well, kept the car under control nicely. Yes, there's a second penalty of this race. I think Kennerals was pit lane. Well, he's got 10.
For 10 seconds, so it might be severe corner cutting
Yeah.
after the collision, or something else, which is a mystery.
Yeah. And
But we get our first track limit penalty.
that's
In
going to be the first of
PC3
many. It was
in
one
PC3,
driver. Two
only
Abati,
one,
wasn't
yeah,
it? Or
yeah,
two
it was,
Abati.
yeah, two Abti, the only one without a penalty.
I watch my PC F3 races. Here we go, Wagenar then in the slipstream, rapid in a straight line actually, so I think that shows the setup difference between him and Derocky, because slipstream isn't really that powerful. And yeah, even not in the slipstream, he's gaining up time all the way down the straight.
Although he is out of battery.
Yeah, that was very quick to be fair.
Which
As
might
all
be
Dodovic has gone, Wall of Champions. That's
Is
not the
that-
Wall of
that's
Champions,
a
that's
full
halfway
safety
down
car.
the road. How's he done that?
I don't know.
Gotta be contact surely, unless he's fighting the car the whole way down the straight, then binned it. As the Aston Martin safety car nearly drives into an Aston Martin. That wouldn't have been good for Cody at his home race. There's the first safety car, which means people...
Do you think anyone will pit?
Yes, I do, because there's already people in the pits.
Yeah, but they're at the back, so they lose nothing by pitting. The question is whether any of the leaders will pit.
I don't think so. I personally don't think it's worth it yet.
But we need to know what... If the race is going to be inters for the entire race, then if it means that they won't have to do another... Yeah,
because
if
the guys at the back would have pitted.
Yeah, if there was like 2.2% a lap or something, for example, if they pit now, they won't have to do another stop. However, if they stay out, they're gonna have to do another stop. Which means that they're basically a pit stop up, although their tyres will be completely dead by the end.
I mean, if they can keep their wear down under safety car, that helps them out a bit. Oh, there's someone in. That's Milan Dirksen into the pit lane. Ambodian, I think. Yep.
So I'm just watching
And also Robbie.
Dino's stream back, and it seems like Dordovic was trying to go for a move on the car head, but then got some oversteer on throttle whilst trying to steer, which was the ultimate cause of the spin.
Yeah. These fireworks are just getting more and more.
Yeah, there's a lot of fireworks outside my house tonight.
Luckily, I don't think my mic's picking any of them up. They're not like ridiculously close to me, but they're like.
There were some like
range
100 meters from my house.
I'd say.
Like really loud.
I'd say probably about 200 from mine. So. Yeah,
I think the
not far.
safety car will be out for just one more lap,
Yeah, probably.
and then it will come back in.
What are your takes on the new liveries? I had a little look through in, what's it called, qualifying. What changes have you seen?
I mostly noticed the changes to the 3D models. The Mercedes rear wing looks quite a bit different. The Alpine one looks a bit different.
Yeah. The
What
Alpine
else? Was it?
has changed a lot, to be fair.
Yeah, the Alpine has changed. I think, was it the Alpha Tauri that also got changed a bit? I don't remember which exact car it was, and also
The Alpha
the
Tauri
side
didn't
pods.
change.
The side pods have changed on the Williams and the Aston Martin. I'm not sure about the McLaren. They've changed side
Yeah,
pods
I've
in
seen the
there.
Williams change because it's there's also like a minor change on board. I don't know, the Williams actually feels a lot nicer to me at the moment, just on the onboard.
I think they changed the McLaren side pods as well. I was actually surprised that they changed
The
the
McLaren
3D
looks a lot
model.
like darker now. Like from the onboard, it's a lot more black compared to orange.
I don't notice that.
Yeah.
All I notice is the rear wing looks a bit different.
Yeah, I mostly look at the onboard changes because that's what you'll see most of the time. And then like rear wings, because well, you see the rear wings of the car in front of you.
Yeah.
So that's really the changes I've noticed, but yeah.
Safety car should be in this lap, although the message hasn't been displayed.
Oh, Dirkson's had a penalty for a severe collision with Reed.
Oh. What happened
And the
here?
safety car's in this lap.
And Dirkson's missing an end plate.
Oh, great. I assume a lockup or something?
I don't know. Also, there's a bit of shenanigans with Simienchuk and Puskadisha.
Yeah.
They were going quite slowly. I don't know how to pronounce stuff. Pushkadiya. Okay.
Anyways, Daroki going at the final corner. Never mind, he's not going, but he's doing this very quickly. A really random restart, but you know what? It's worked. I tell you, someone else it's worked for Bialowes, and he dives it down the inside and sticks Wagenar off track. And Wagenar's getting a 10-second penalty. No, just a 5. And he lost a position. He's lost multiple positions, so he'll get that removed.
But I think if he pits again, it might get served.
Oh yeah, so he can't pit now. So if it is dried up, Wagenar, unfortunately for him, is not in a good spot anymore.
I'm not sure whether the tyres will do the full race. They might. Depends on what pressures everyone's opted for.
We'll see. We'll see if anyone's going to risk it, and well, if they do risk it, then it's just going to end in a puncture as Wagenar looking to make a move. Not quite. Max out before the hairpin and doesn't want to send anything stupid. Smart driving from the Haas.
Bodian is fighting for 10th place and is on new tyres, so if he's able to make it to the end, he might be on for the win. And he's only 5.6 seconds behind the leader at this moment, although the gap
That'll probably be about 15 by the time he gets up there, I'd say. That's sort of just how it'll go as Keeler looking for a move on Pushkadir, and that's how you do a dive. And this time a Ferrari doesn't stick another driver off the track, although Dino did brake very early, to be fair, in the Williams. As there's another penalty. Simienchuk picks up 3, there's another penalty. Robbie picks up another 3. As I think Robbie's on, 13 seconds.
I think at this point in PC3 about half the grid had a penalty.
Did you have a safety car by this point though?
Oh, we didn't have a single safety car.
Oh, okay, that probably has influenced this a bit, to be fair.
Yeah, fewer laps.
I think by the halfway point, half the drivers will. Which, I mean, at Canada, honestly, I can't blame them. The track limits are really bad here sometimes.
I think it's only the second chicane, which I think is turn 4 is included in that.
Yeah.
Which is where there's the blind apex.
Yeah.
But other than that, there's also the final chicane where you really need to cut it. And you can actually cut quite a lot.
You can cut a lot and get away with it, but if you cut it incorrectly, you'll get a penalty every time, despite the fact that you don't... You like barely cut it, but cut it incorrectly. But then you can go fully over it sometimes and not get a warning, which is, I don't know. It's strange. It's just how this game works, as there's a penalty. And that's 5 drivers with a penalty now, as Milan Dirksen goes to the pits and retires. With the promise of safety cars, I don't know if that's the right thing to do always. Unless,
I just
well, he
wouldn't
has to go.
retire.
Yeah, I don't retire until I'm like
Unless
fully a
I've
lap
got
down.
like,
With
yeah,
like
lap
rear wing
down.
damage, side
Yeah.
pods, all of that. There's- looking at McGinty, he's looking for a move, but has opened himself up to Wagenar by going deep. Wagenar doesn't get the best of exits, though, as McGinty with the wider line sort of just carried a bit more momentum through the corner, and that helped a lot. But I tell you who is being helped a lot, Doroki, who's just managing to streak away here. Imchiaz looks just stuck right now in third place. This is yellow flags. DeCont is round at the hairpin. As here comes Wagenar with the lower wings to the inside of the Alpine and a VSC.
That's odd.
That's a weird, yeah. And Wagenar had to give that position back. I think they were literally alongside and the game rolled the dice and decided, yeah, you know what, you're letting you through. Or,
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I'm
The
looking
game's
at
strange.
the standings, and right now, Devochi is on 22 points in P17. So if he went up to 47, which is what you get for a win,
Fastest lap win.
that would put him P7 in the standings. All from one race.
I think the Ferrari in second's just gone off track under safety car. That might be a warning. Or under VSC even. Anyways, it'd be lovely if we had like a graphic ourselves as commentators for when the VSC's ending.
The can's gone to mediums.
Ooh, hello.
There's no way that's working.
Yeah, it's not working, but maybe a sign.
The rain is still falling.
As Cody's had a good restart, straight past Dino and up into 8th, and well, I think
I'm not sure what Richard was thinking.
Cody on his final race here in PCF2 this season, at his home race. If he could win, that would be exceptionally good for him. And what a way to leave that would be. A driver,
riding
of
on board with
course,
the can, who was so close to... Oh, now has actually pinned it in the wall. I had a really good save and then lost it later.
Forgot he's gone for fresh inters.
I would have waited for the next safety car. Maybe he's going for an undercut.
Unless he had like massive damage, then there's no point. Minor damage, it's worth just staying out, honestly. With cars in a train and people trying to get past each other, you're not going to lose a ridiculous amount if you say just got an end plate missing.
And the can has decided to not pit and has just completely cut the final chicane.
Alright.
And is now driven into a wall in the straight.
I assume there's some sort of tyre compound rule about being on the wrong tyres for the track, so if it doesn't dry up and he is just driving mediums
Yeah.
and inters, then that's not good. But I'd assume logically it is going to dry up.
It's still raining, and it depends whether it's overcast or if it's sunny, because if it's sunny the track dries up like in a lap, but if it's overcast it can take as much as 10-15 laps to dry up.
Yeah. Bodian moves up to P9, and Dino, after a good start making moves up the grid, sort of is just dropping back now, unfortunately. So at the moment losing a lot of points to Imchaz as Bodian drifts it through there and almost straight into a wall. But manages to catch it just before he goes into the wall. So well done to Bodian, as he has another moment, and now Dino's going to get back past into P9. And Bodian looking to re-dive it back up the inside here. And there's not enough space for two cars there, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. And that's inviting Matusiak into the fight.
Yeah, I just accidentally clicked the wrong thing. I was trying to click shift.
Matusiak almost actually runs into the back of Bodian into the hairpin, but narrowly avoids it.
Yeah, as DeCont is into the pit lane and will maybe a lap down in the Mercedes. Back onto interzone, and well, if there's a safety car and people do have to pit, But there's
It
obviously...
requires
Oh!
everyone-
Matutiak's in the
Oh.
wall. And also, that's going to be rear wing damage, and that's a VSC. How the hell have we done 16 laps already? Oh my. That went quick.
Yeah.
Feels like we've only been in the race about 10 minutes as Matusiak gets 3 seconds on the VSC.
Talent.
That's a Canada
Skill
moment, that
issue.
is.
Maybe he went deep because he had no front wing.
Yeah, true, actually, it's a front wing issue.
But right now, I think if Divockey were to box, he would come out just behind Bodian. So not too far behind.
Will
Especially
anyone
considering
jump
it's
in?
virtual safety car.
I don't think they will, though, because it'll probably end, I'd say, now-ish, you'd think.
Yeah, and the gain that you get for pitting under virtual safety car is much smaller than in real life.
Does
In real
anyone
life,
take...
it's like 10 seconds quicker, but in the game, it's like 2 or 3 seconds.
Yeah, no one's interested. I assume we're restarting now, everyone's sort of putting their foot down, and there's 2 drive-thrus. Who was that? Fagali and someone
Fagali.
else.
I'll check now.
It is Matusiak, both Red Bulls have got a drive-through. And Robbie also got 3 seconds
And
as well.
Matusiak, he's got to change his front wing this stop, and then next lap he's got to do the drive-through. So he'll definitely be hoping for a safety car, and he might even get a lap down.
It'll be close to being a lap down. I don't think he quite will be.
I don't think so either. I think the drive-through... So the normal pit stop is about 17 seconds here.
Yeah, it's like the shortest pit lane on the calendar because of how it works with the track.
Yeah, you basically cut 40% of the chicanes
Yeah,
of the lap.
which is useful. As Imchaz really looking to get past the Ferrari, as well if he can. With how he's been driving, he maybe looks like he has a bit more pace, but I still don't think it's enough to match Rocky out front, you know.
Yeah.
Who is, if
And
anything,
also
he can
Divockey
cruise.
the gap.
Yeah, I think Rocky's pretty much cruising at this point, as Wagenar close to McGinty, but McGinty just pulling ahead. Wagenar sets the fastest lap. So that point is currently going to the Haas driver, as everyone in this train, they're all just trying to just get past anywhere. They're just trying to get it. There's just no moves on it. It's not possible to overtake without DRS here, pretty much.
Yeah.
The opportunities are so slim, and the opportunities you do have require DRS unless you get a monstrous slipstream, which doesn't happen in this game, as Bodian makes a mistake and is now under pressure from Robbie. Oh, they're going 3 wide. Oh no, that's the Conseil who just drives through both of them and says goodbye, I'm off.
That's the nice thing about being a ghosted car.
As here comes McGinty to the inside of Imchiaz. And McGinty, not wanting to wait around any longer, goes up into 3rd place. As Imchiaz, oh, that was close. Imchiaz now drops down to 5th, Wagenar through as well, and Shimi and Shook and Keeler have caught up to these 2 as well, so...
Although I don't think they'll be able to capitalise on that mistake because they were too far back,
Yeah.
but another one, and they're going straight past.
As
Keeler's
Keeler gets 3 seconds.
I was riding on board with him as he just cut the first apex way too much.
And that's half the grid with penalties now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. But
Yeah, half the
Matusiak
grid.
is... No, Matusiak's 3rd this drive-through, so yeah, that is 7 drivers with penalties. How many are we going to have by the end of the race? I'm saying 11 out of 14. I reckon 4
Probably.
more.
Although Ferries is
Removable.
the 5-second instant after getting punted.
Yeah, so that's removable as well. He clearly also lost 3 places from it, so definitely didn't
Yeah.
gain any time. I think this race could have been a lot different if that didn't happen, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Rocky wouldn't be finding it so easy out front right now, as well, the Ferrari's doing a great job at defending 2nd place, and just placing his car in the right place every lap, and no one can get past, and that's all you have to do.
That's
But,
a nice thing about intermediate conditions.
Yeah. I'll tell you something though. I reckon one of these drivers might send a frustrated dive at some point.
Yeah. And we also need to ask the question of whether
Oh.
they're tired. Wait, the raindrops have stopped.
McGinty's going for it.
And it's sunny.
Yeah.
Okay, spicy time.
Here we go. Here's a crossover coming soon.
The crossover's probably coming in a lap or two because it's sunny.
Yeah.
Although if it's not sunny and it stays inters for another 3 laps, I'm gonna have to eat a shoe or something. But Bodian's in the pits. What has he gone for? He's gone for the mediums. And for a new front wing, but he's gone for the mediums.
Yeah.
Which I'll ride on board with Bodian as he goes out the pits, and I'll give you some feedback on how he's doing.
Maybe Bodian's helping his teammate out here, who's currently running in 5th, and if his teammate can get an undercut, picks up a massive amount of points against Dino as well, from the position he's in. I hope I was going to
aren't
get
as
to
bad
the
as
championship
they
league.
can, but...
Oh, here we go, McGinty!
Inters.
Around the outside of the hairpin, that's an interesting attempt. It doesn't pay off, and... well... I think for Derocky, just wait for the people behind you to pit, honestly. If they want to take a risk.
You only lose like a second or two by going a lap too long.
Oh, someone's in. Wagenar's in. McGinty picks up 3 seconds. There's another person to add to your penalty list, if you keep in track.
Though Bodian's tyres have not switched on. So that might be because they're cold. Yeah, and Keeler's also in. And
5 drivers are in.
And got damage. And has done a sneaky reset to track, although I'm not recording, so maybe gets away with it. I guess if someone really zooms into a mini-map, but...
I really want to see how these drivers are going to cope. Wagenar comes out in P9 and now can't get that penalty removed. Cody's reigned already. This wasn't the correct decision. Wagenar's reigned as well on pit exit and been disqualified for blocking the pit lane.
It's really not been a good race.
A race that was looking so promising. That's unfortunate for Wagenar. Well, it's not a DNF.
Bodian sped into the pit lane.
But I don't know if a disqualification's an improvement on a DNF. As Matusiak gets 5 seconds speeded into the pit lane. Derocky, are you going in? Don't do it. It's not worth it.
I've just watched Keeler cut the 4th chicane.
McGinty's in.
Absolutely zero grip. The track does not seem ready, although I think it will suddenly go from not ready to ready very quickly.
It's been more than 2 laps, it's time for you to eat a shoe.
Aww. I mean, maybe 3 laps. But I'm not the one driving. I don't get to feel what the track is like.
I mean, you still make that quote yourself that you'd eat a shoe if it wasn't 1 or 2 laps. As Bodian retires. Safety car? No. So can't pick... Oh, wait, that was late! That was late!
Just like real race control, they need a few minutes to decide whether it needs a safety car. I think everyone who hasn't picked will be in. I think that's for a new front wing.
Yeah. For the second set of mediums, so he's using the new tyre allocation to his benefit.
Yeah.
So, Derocky.
I was hyping up the 2-stop in PC3 and then none of them went for it, which made me sad. Because it's 4 seconds slower.
I mean, Dino's done a 2-stop. Technically.
No, I was talking about a 2-stop in dry.
I think
like, because that's the best strategy. Like, yeah.
Well, it's mediums or nothing here because the softs will...
let me get my calculator out.
The softs won't make it.
So we're gonna do...
Okay, Imchaz has gone for softs.
12... I'm gonna work out whether they'll make it. So it's
11 racing laps probably.
Time. It's currently lap 20. Actually,
it might be 25 when it comes in. Actually,
I think it'll come in end of 23 or end of 24.
Well,
We'll
we're
go
on
for end of
23
20.
now. And there's still a Williams
Oh, yeah.
struggling.
So that will probably be 11 laps times about 5.4%. It'll be on 60% by the end, plus the 5% you put under safety car. So they will make it, but I don't think they're going to be faster, because they'll only be like 2-3 tenths a lap, given that you put some wear on them under safety car. And it's a bit like Baku, as Jimmy Emchik's binned it under safety car. Hopefully for his sake he hasn't got front wing damage, but that is a possibility.
No, he's got no front wing.
Ah.
And yes,
You'll have to pit again.
Yes, Wage&R, certainly sad for you, but you just never seem to have any luck in the Ero, do you?
Yeah, so going back to the softs, if they haven't gone for a race setup, they'll just have oversteer, like utterly chronic oversteer by the end of the race, and they'll just be spinning at the third and fourth chicanes, and to a lesser extent the fifth chicane as well. It's quite hard to manage the oversteer.
I'm wondering why Fagali's still on Inters. I mean, to be fair, it is still into conditions, as there goes a Mercedes just 360 in range for the fun of it.
Though Fagali hasn't caught up to the train yet, so he might just be waiting another lap to box.
So, Matusiak retires in the pit lane. Only 10 drivers are on the lead lap. It is drying, but it's still wet. Like, Derocky can't put the power down at all. This is some really interesting conditions. I got if like it stays like this until the safety car goes in, Imshaz and Robbie are going to be loving life on fresh softs.
Siemienczyk's gone for hards. I
Maybe
guess he doesn't have
the tyre allocation. But surely it goes softs.
Softs will probably be better than hards, given the amount of rain.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Well, let's see what's going to happen before the end of the race. Safety car comes in next lap. It's drier now, but it's still not dry. Not fully dry, but it's definitely manageable now.
Yeah.
As I still think
seems like the hards and Jimmy and Chick are working.
I still think Robbie and Imshaz are going to have such an advantage if it, if it was to come in this lap, which you can't now, unfortunately. They would have such an advantage, but it's coming in next lap now. I think regardless it's in next lap, isn't it?
I think so.
So, I mean, if the track conditions stay as they are, because look at the main straight here, it's still wet.
Yeah, still,
we have got to remember we are on an
islands
island.
In this game are weird.
Now, while the game doesn't simulate the fact that we're on an island and the water normally stays, quite fairly put on this, as in Canada in real life, the track doesn't just dry out in the blink of an eye.
I think the logic is that the sun heats up the track surface, which then makes all the water evaporate.
Yeah, but the sun's not here. We are in overcast conditions.
Yeah, I think it went from like
light cloud to overcast.
Has Jimmy and Shook binned it again? He's riding board with Decan, and I think he has put it in the wall.
He's got.
Well, we might still have the front wing, but I definitely saw a bit of a spin.
Well, he hasn't lost any positions. And we are in this lap, then. I know it hasn't said it, but we are. And it's still wet. So this lap...
is going to be spicy.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. Here we go, safety car in this lap. I think Deroky's going to take this as slow as he likes. Oh, mate, actually, no. Take it as
you want to go
fast.
quick.
Yeah, because you want to keep the heat that you've generated.
And going slowly would just hand all the power to those on the softs. As Jimmy Entrick's going extremely slowly, maybe that's the throttle limiter.
Yeah. Here we go then. Duroki is taking a quicker restart. I think everyone will be thanking him after for doing that. Because, well, that'll keep their tyres in good shape, but it is still wet on the main straight. Here we go then. Restarting
Duroki gets
this
a
race.
really good start and has a 6/10 gap going into turn 1.
McGinty looking for a move on Imshaz, but I think Imshaz is just going to stay ahead. Imshaz goes deep though, and on the soft tyres, that's not what you would have been expecting for him to be struggling.
Track looks
Ooh,
a bit drier
McGinty,
than
that was
last
close.
lap. The
Yeah,
track
it's a bit
looks
dry
dry in
there.
some bits, but wet in others. It's a bit
Shumi and Shucks round.
confusing.
There's Duroki a second ahead already. Loving these conditions in the Alpine.
Maybe he's a Canada specialist.
Could be. There's a very good race from the Alpine, and well, off he goes to go win the race, I guess.
Yeah.
As the track is now dry, pretty much. If we just restarted one lap earlier, I think this could have been absolute carnage.
Yeah.
As everyone's still going deep into the hairpin though. And Robbie really struggling for traction, and he's on the softs, so it's still debatable.
Maybe his rear tires are already going off because you can feel the difference between brand new and even 20% worn tires at Canada.
What a run that is from Imchiaz, but you've got to get the move done there, Imchiaz. You can't sit behind on these fresh softs. Make the most of them. He's got to go for it on the outside. He's not done it.
Yeah, stays behind for another lap.
And now he's being overtaken by McGinty. McGinty just sneaks through there.
Yeah,
It's like,
I was going so slow on the apex that McGinty took the outer line, which normally is slower, but when your opponent is boxed in, it's quite a bit quicker,
Yeah.
as we just saw.
As well. Now McGinty has the task of overtaking the Ferrari, who is defending for his life.
Yeah.
He wants that P2. Well, he's not going to get it over Imshaz because Imshaz doesn't have a penalty yet.
Yeah. Yet.
Definitely a chance he could get it. The Ferrari brakes later, sticks it up the inside, and just leaves McGinty enough room, and that is how you defend a position. You can't knock any of his defending. It has been exceptional.
It is very strong.
It's strong.
And all that's doing is allowing Duroki to get a 2-second gap.
I don't think that's Ferrari's aim today. I think this P2 means everything. And
Yeah,
I tell you something, I think he's going to do it. As Keeler's
The safety
reigned.
car gets enabled. And they can't set the fastest lap despite being a lap
McGinty's
down.
pushing him through there. But he's just, again, he's put his car in the correct place. And no one can get past.
And I think Keeler's had a spin.
I think, yeah, Keeler did have a spin. I think the issue now is DRS.
Uh-oh,
Everyone
I just
behind's
saw
gonna have
a
DRS.
rogue Mercedes glitching through Imchiaz.
Yeah, the cons.
All I'm thinking of now is the song of Vettel just saying blue flag, blue flag, blue flag.
As Robbie picks up his, I don't know, 10th penalty of the race or something. As that's deep from the Ferrari, but Imshaz isn't anywhere near to capitalise. Probably because he's getting distracted by the Cont, I think.
Yeah. I think it's 10 seconds and 4 penalty points per sector. You drive inside another car. So he'll definitely want to stop doing that if he doesn't want a race ban or something. Because he can get season bans pretty quickly by doing that.
As he's got 3 seconds.
For cutting the corner, as Duroki sets a 16.8, which is, I think, at this amount of fuel, on newish mediums, you should be doing about high 12.
Oh, Keeler's gone in the pit lane, I think, or no, that's on track. Oh, and there goes someone else, Cody, into the wall, and is out the race. We're down to 9. And we got a
9
safety car.
runners. Okay, this is spicy now.
I
Does
didn't
anyone
think
go
Canada
for
would
late
be
pit stop?
the most deathly race of the calendar. And
Yeah.
DeCont's going to get points.
Even though he's a lap down, I'm probably getting like half a minute of penalties.
No,
Actually, I
but
need to
that's an
check.
automatic disqualification then, because 30 seconds means you get disqualified, I think.
Was it just a race ban? I'm checking the rules now. I probably should know this as I'm a steward, but it's rare enough that you can check it each time.
I'll check who's going into the pit lane then. Is Rocky, you're up first. Do you fancy the pit lane is the question. The answer is no. Pavel stays out, McGinty stays out, Imsha stays out, Robbie stays out. I don't think that's the correct decision for those on the mediums.
I think
Dino's
someone
in.
at the. That's a good choice.
Dino, the only one other than Jimmy Enchuk who, yeah. Jimmy
So how
Enchuk
many
knows
positions has Dino lost by pitting?
it. 1 or 0.
Amazing.
So Dino is in with a chance of winning this race now, I would say.
Dino's pace hasn't been that great this race, if I'm being completely honest. But I found the rule. It says that if a driver is awarded 30 seconds or more in time penalties by the stewards during a single race, they will receive an immediate race ban for the following race. So not a disqualification, which will be important for Richard if he does get reported for driving inside other cars.
So he can get the points, the 2, as long as he doesn't bin it or retire in the pits. 2 points is 2 points. Now, well, you might be getting the race ban. I mean,
I'm actually checking where Richard is.
Oh, Dino! I got scared then.
No.
Dino just didn't brake for the hairpin nearly while everyone was going really slowly through it.
That is not ideal.
And almost with flying into the back, that scared me. It wasn't like as close as you think, but it was like when you've got a car going really slow and then one coming up max speed into the hairpin, it's not ideal. As someone's gone in. Oh, it's Richard. Oh, but Fagali has as well.
Why has he gone in this lap?
I
That just puts him behind Dino and Zimienchuk has boxed again.
Jimmy Enchuk's just going for vibes.
So Dino has gained a position under this safety car despite going into the pit.
For fresh softs.
Yeah.
And 3 of the drivers ahead have penalties. One of them being Robbie with 19 seconds.
19. The game's probably getting close to disqualifying him.
He's probably going to end up behind a Cont at this rate.
I'm looking at the standings and apparently DeCont won the previous race in Spa.
I accidentally muted my mic then. It's fine.
So I think DeCont might not be happy with the P9 plus a race ban for the next race. Although we probably should stop talking about hypotheticals if we're not actually sure whether he's getting a race ban.
I mean, there's only 2 sectors ahead of one of the drivers. Ahead of him, Shaz, he wasn't in front for a whole sector. So that one doesn't count. So hypothetically, it's only 20 seconds. If we're talking
safety car is
hypothetically.
in this lap. Safety
Anyways.
car in this lap, as someone would say, and I think Dino is going to be very happy at that message. Yeah, as I would say.
So, 4 laps. 4 laps of people putting in each other into a wall. DeRocky.
Yay!
I think DeRocky's probably just going to drive off again. I can't lie.
Yeah.
I think
and also the others have penalties.
DeRocky's drove a brilliant race. Deserves to win it.
Yeah.
And I think he probably will win it. And he's going into the chicane. Caught the Ferrari off guard, who's now got a penalty as well, just to add to his troubles. And now he's under pressure from McGinty. Does McGinty dive it? He's going for it. Up the inside. Not quite. Not quite. Bit of a half-hearted effort.
But I'm riding on board with Dino, who just has so much traction than Robbie, and is going to go down the inside into the second chicane, and that makes the move stick with the brand new soft tyres, which is 7 laps newer, which is an enormous difference at Canada, especially on the rears.
We're going to have 2 laps of DRS?
See how much more grip Dino has than everyone else. And Dino is only 2.5 seconds behind the leaders.
I think we're going to have 2 laps of DRS, aren't we?
Yeah, we're going to have 2 laps.
This could get interesting. Can Dino win this race? McGinty You've just got to go for it, mate. You've realised what happened last time when you were stuck behind and you've gone deep, and that's going to allow the Ferrari to keep the position. Imshaz not close enough to capitalise. Once again, Imshaz just seems to lose time in the run-up to that hairpin, you know. As Derocky not getting too far ahead. I think Derocky's pacing himself. He doesn't need to just chuck it for every corner, get unnecessary penalties. He just needs to take his time and drive the race he needs to drive. As here comes McGinty, there's contact, McGinty's into the wall, and that's the Ferrari completely cutting over there. 5-second penalty. Whoa, that's 8 runners left in this race. McGinty will get points.
He'll get 2 points.
So 2 points for McGinty unless the comp wins it on this lap.
If he wins it this lap, he's getting 4.
As here comes Dino on Imshaz. Not quite. As Imshaz runs deep, Dino's going to try cut it back. Right on the outside
and
there.
I think he's got the traction.
And there goes Imshaz into the wall. Another one gone. Oh my god, we're down to 7. What's going on here? As next up for Dino is the Ferrari. The Ferrari's gone deep. Dino's looking for the move. Already into 3rd place and has 2 seconds to catch up to Derocky. Can he get past now? This has been what everyone has struggled to do this race, is get past this Ferrari. And Dino's someone with the task of doing it. Fagali's here as well, though. Also doesn't have penalties.
And is on new tyres as well.
1 lap fresher, which is probably about 3% because it was under safety car. How much of a difference is that going to make? Dino, great exit, up into 2nd place. Fagali's going to follow through. 2nd and 3rd for them now. Fagali looking for a move for 2nd place. Here comes Fagali on the outside. Fagali's through. And then Fagali has to catch 2.5 seconds in 2 laps. Definitely doable, I'd say, on these tyres.
Yeah.
Can Fagali win this race? He's lagging all over the place.
Yeah, I saw that on my screen and I was following him board the Ferrari.
He's going to whip out the lag switch to beat Derocky here, I think. As, oh my god, he's lagging really bad. But he's already gained 6 tenths. Dino's following with along with him. Decont's now 7th. Decont's not even in the session, I don't think. Or is he? No, he is. Decont's going for a move for 4th place on the road, theoretically. As the Ferrari doesn't have a front wing. I've just realised.
Yeah, I noticed that last lap, and I was wondering whether he would pit, but decided to stay out. And then Dino and Fagali just got the biggest switchback, and it seems like Dino is out of battery and out of straight line speed.
Fagali has caught a 2nd this lap. This is the most painful on board to watch, but I think he's going to have 1 chance right at the end here. Stop using your battery, Fagali. Save it. Save every last bit for this final straight. You're going to need it.
This is one really painful on board to watch.
I'm just not watching it. I can't do it. My brain can't hack me to watch it. What about Jimmy Enchuk? He's looking for a move soon on the Ferrari. And, well, Decont's getting 6 points. He's probably also getting... Oh, no, he's moved out the way of blue flags this time. That's good to see. As 1.2 is the gap. Dino's actually second, fairly close in the DRS. Fagali, he's going to get DRS, surely. You've just got to send it through here. Just everything on the line. It's not enough. It's not enough. Are those softs already finished? Is the question.
I think they're still better, but they're definitely not a second.
Oh, I forgot he's messed up, and that's going to cost him this. I don't think he's got a chance.
Meanwhile, the Ferrari has gone deep into the hairpin, which has allowed the Alfa Romeo to get past. Although the Ferrari has more battery and has the missing front wing, so will be a lot quicker in the straights. However, we need to see what penalties they'll get. The Ferrari has 11 seconds compared to 14 seconds now compared to the 6 seconds for Jimmy Enchuk.
And now to the line. Well, that was... What the hell just happened on that last restart?
I don't know.
Anyways,
I'm sure Yanni's going to be busy after this one.
Derocky, what a drive. What a drive for the Alpine. It's all
we need a drive of the day graphic. Yeah. Where we just have like on our keyboard a button that displays drive of the day and we have all their faces, which Wodge has been extorting them for.
So, Derocky, almost a Grand Slam. Pole led every lap. Only thing he didn't do was the fastest lap.
Is that Dino or Fagali?
Fagali second. Dino third. Chimienchuk fourth. Fastest lap was DeCont in seventh. So he picked up 7 points just from not retiring while a lap down.
Yeah.
And that tells you anything. There you go. McGinty and
Maybe
Imshaz.
Milan shouldn't have retired.
McGinty and Imshaz also pick up points despite not quite making it all the way. That was something.
That was one crazy race.
We had missiles on a straight line from people, loads of people in a wall, 7 people finishing, 6 on the lead lap, a combined total of about 80 seconds of penalties across the grid, it feels like. Something
just
ridiculous,
looking,
42,
and
54.
Kant did a 6-stop this race.
Alright, I'm just gonna... Oh my, I need to quickly get this in. You'll have to slow it down if you need the race director. My bad. Took a bit long to get onto that. Wow.
I don't think it's as bad as PC3. Like, PC3 I had to be scrolling for about 15-20 seconds or something crazy. Now that the race is finished and we're back in the lobby, it's being a bit funny for me. I think I'll just leave.
Wow, that was
one crazy race.
So, I died.
Are we doing interviews?
Who was on the podium? Yeah, do you want to ping him? Ping him and we can get him dragged in a minute.
Is it Fagali who's second?
Yeah. And Dino third.
Tell what VC should I make them join?
Just get them in talking one or whatever. Dino can just join directly. And then we can drag him in.
The can has already been reported for driving through lap cars.
Alright.
In case anyone was wondering. Is anyone... Okay, Vigali and Devoci are in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello.
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 Hello. Oh.
That was one commanding win.
Thank you. Oh my god. It was so close. I think.
Yeah.
2 laps more and I don't have it.
Yeah, it was about just over a second, I think. I don't know how close it was after the final gun. I think 1.2 seconds, but yeah, a completely dominant drive for you. As well, you had a Haas fighting early on the inters, but then I say a few safety cars later, and well, every single time you led every single lap of the race. Only thing missing from a Grand Slam was the fastest lap, but yeah, basically a perfect drive. So.
Thank you guys. That was such a nice race. I was driving safely after that crash with Haas driver behind me, and I did it. I am happy with that. Yeah.
So that is a win that's going to put you a lot higher in the standings now. Obviously picking up 26 points, the one for pole position and the other 25 for winning the race. And I believe Quill did the maths and said that would be P7 in the standings now.
Assuming no one else improves.
I don't think
So
we
it
need
might be
to move
P8 or P9.
It might be P8 behind Fagali, but yeah, that's still really high up compared to where
I
you
think
were.
I think you'll still be ahead of Fagali.
Oh yeah, by 1 point because of yeah. I think
Yeah,
it's by
but
1 point from the fastest, not the pole position even.
yeah, but I think it is too late in the season to
Yeah.
fight to the championship. Unlucky for me, but
You can still
it is
gain a
what it
lot of
is.
more places, at least. As well, up to, where was it? Up to P6, it would only be a few points ahead of you now. And that's definitely something that would be achievable, maybe even more. But, well, you know, we'll just have to see with how the rest of the season goes. And best of luck to you for future races as well.
So sorry, can you repeat?
I said best of luck for future races as well.
Okay, thank you, mate.
So moving over to Fagali, and well, a good swap onto the softs at the end, and you managed to fight your way through the traffic, just not quite enough to get to the lead. But how would you say that race went from your side?
Okay, so first of all, quali was bad. I didn't had enough time to do a lap because of the rain starting, so that costed me a bit. But then at the start of the race, yeah, it was probably one of my best bad starts that I could ever have. I crashed, I spun. There was too many safety cars, and yeah, I mean, but like in the middle of the race, I kinda when the rain started to stop, I kinda started to have the pace, was doing purple. I had the fastest lap for a minute, and yeah, I mean, I wish when the last safety car came, I went to the pit, put it on soft. I, I think there was Dino behind me too, or in front of me. We both went through the pack, I believe, but yeah, I mean, it wasn't enough. I got 1 second off of the final lap on Dormati, which of course, congratulations, what a race. But yeah, I mean, it was a not a bad race, but not a good one too.
Well, at least 18 points is a positive to take at the end there, which is...
Yeah, I mean, it was my first podium of the season, kind of late, but like, you know, I knew I had the pace, it just wasn't enough.
Yeah. And, well, that's a good haul of points as well, moving you up into the top 10 in the standings also, which is good. And, well, there's definitely a chance for you to, the same as Mateus, fight for more positions now, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, I just want luck in my race, that's all I want. I have the pace, but yeah.
Well, hopefully you've got a few more rounds to hopefully have a bit more luck come your way, as we also have a sprint next week, which I've completely forgot to mention at any point, but an opportunity for big points there for everyone,
yeah.
so
Yep.
I'm sure that's going to be competitive unless the sprint was moved. Did I don't know if that ever happened. There was some sort of discussion about it, but I'm not sure if it happened. Maybe it'll be announced next week, I don't know. Maybe I've accidentally spoiled something I wasn't meant to. But yeah. Anyways, best of luck to you in the future races as well, and hopefully we get to see you on the podium again.
Yeah, thank
that'd
you.
be nice.
Yeah.
Moving over to Dino then, a race that looked like a race of struggle and one that wasn't going the best, then all of a sudden a smart decision onto the softs and there's a podium for you.
Yeah, honestly, I think that was probably one of my best the decisions I've ever made. Like, I saw that no one was going in for the softs, so I just took the gamble. I saw how Imtiaz did it, and I think it was Jeddah that he pitted for softs and improved massively. And yeah, I didn't lose any positions, so that was honestly incredible. So it was only up from there.
Yeah, well, a race that looked like you were going to, well, have your championship lead cut by quite a bit, ended up in you actually extending it even further by 11 points over Imtiaz, bringing the gap now to 47. So, with France next week and, well, 5 rains to go, how do you feel with about winning this championship and being a back-to-back champion here?
Well, honestly, I'm not thinking about it too much at the moment. I'm just trying to focus on finishing in front of Imtiaz to get me as much points as possible before the final round. But if we can extend this battle to the final race, which is going to be in Brazil, then of course it's going to be a very nice show for you commentators and for the viewers. But we'll see what the future has in store for us, for me and Imtiaz.
Yeah. And I had another question, but I forgot. Quill, any questions from your part?
No.
Okay. Alright, so that is all for today's stream. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the race. As well, there was a lot of carnage, especially at the end. The last safety car was very interesting to watch, and probably worth a rewatch. To be fair, I might rewatch it myself to try and figure out what actually happened because there was so much going on. Anyways, France is next week. Is it a sprint? Is it not? I don't know. I should probably actually learn this sort of stuff before I say it. But you know what? That's fine. So, that is all for this week, and goodbye.